Hello Star Wars unboxing fans, welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba's Star Wars unboxing show. And since I got my holiday shirts on, by the way, I'll talk about this shirt in a little bit. Since I got my holiday shirt on, I am fully vested into the holiday season. Halloween has ended, so I am very excited. Now some people, as I've mentioned in previous episodes, some people like to let it ease in, or some people are like, no, you should not be celebrating the Christmas season until right before Christmas, like December 24th. I get that, I respect that. But for me, I love the holidays. I've loved it ever since I was a little kid. And I think a lot of that, in terms of fond holiday memories and fond nostalgic memories of growing up, a lot of that, for me and a lot of people my age, comes from gathering around the Christmas tree, getting that anticipation, excitement before Christmas, and then getting to Christmas morning and being able to spend time with your family. And yes, as kids, we always were excited about presents. But and for us, my childhood, presents were always about Star Wars, because all through those most influential years, the presents were Star Wars related. So there's always a bit of a connection there. So that's just me. Of course, in these days, as a parent, growing up the last few years as a parent with my child growing up, I got much more fun out of giving than receiving gifts, and it was okay with me. I loved it, but now it's just kind of all a mix, and I love celebrating, and I love celebrating for months at a time, so bring it on. If you don't like it, well, then you can save up all of my holiday-themed episodes until the week before Christmas or the week after Christmas, and you can just enjoy it then, okay? So in terms of product and what we have today, we have a little mix and match of a few different things, okay? First off, I'm going to do an unboxing of an item that I showed earlier, which is one of those Star Wars throwback figure and mug pieces I found in an antique store. And this is one I did not have, so I'm excited to do an unboxing here. Secondly, we'll have a packaged unboxing from, I think I forget exactly where this was purchased. I might have actually purchased this from an individual buyer. The price was actually very, very comparable to what you've been able to find in stores. And then we have an item, if you can't recognize this is a Hallmark bag. There was one ornament that I did not unbox yet because I didn't have it. So we will get through all those. So why don't we start right off with this? Actually, no, let's not start with this. Let's start with this. Okay, this is my first of a few holiday-themed t-shirts. I realized that I do not have any holiday-themed Star Wars-related t-shirts. There are many that have come out either through places like TeePublic or TeeFury, or Disney has always had some in their stores in the Disney parks, but I just never was able to pick them up when I wanted them, how I wanted them. And now finally at Kohl's, for those of you that have Kohl's, K-O-H-L apostrophe S, or K-O-H-L-E-S, I forget which one. But anyway, the Kohl's Superstore or big box store has a series of, I believe they're exclusive shirts. Not just Star Wars, but also Marvel and Disney and Peanuts Gang and everything. So there's some great things there, and they always have some great deals, particularly on things like t-shirts this time of year. Okay, so go there, find your coupons, go with all their different ways of saving, and go in. I think I picked these up. I think I ended up spending about $4 or $5 each for each shirt, so can't really go wrong. Also check out Five Below. They have a lot of t-shirts there, like just graphic tees. I don't know if they have Star Wars holiday themed, but they do have some Star Wars there, so check them out. All right, but now we get back to this, which is the Return of the Jedi Boba Fett glass, which is not really glass. It looked like a glass, but it's made of plastic. These are in the throwback, and I did some unboxings a few episodes ago. You can go back and check them out, where I actually unboxed all the ones of these that I owned. This is a throwback to the Burger, I want to say Burger King, but it actually might have been Burger Chef that originally did these, I forget. But one of the fast food premiums from the 70s and 80s was these collectible glasses that you could get at these fast food distributors, and I do believe Burger King was the main one. And you'd walk in and you could, the commercial had it that you could actually get your drink, your Pepsi or your Coke product in the glass. I don't know if anybody really actually did that. I think more often than not, people just purchased the glass separately, and then they kept it as a collectible. And it was glass. That which in this case it's not, because unfortunately if it was glass that would have been not a good thing. So, but I like the display feature, but I gotta say honestly, these plastic, for a while there in the mid 2000s, early 2000s, Hasbro was releasing these kind of these soft, I want to call them soft plastic. And the thing about these is that honestly, they don't really last. They start to develop creases and bends and folds in them, and they just aren't all that great. I mean, from the rectangular standpoint, it's awesome. You know, you can just sit there and you can stack them. It's great. But you know, what I've been doing is I've simply just been placing the figure inside the cup like that, and I display it kind of like that, which to me is a little bit easier. They also stack on top of each other, so you can stack like 9 of them, or you know, well, I wouldn't go 9 in a row; they'll tip over. But I've stacked a few of them, and it's really nice. And the art is a direct throwback to the old art. It's almost like comic book art for the old glasses. But again, they're plastic. They look like glass, but they're actually plastic. And actually, I kind of like that, because I think the problem with glass is that if it rolls, drops, breaks, whatever, you're out of luck, and that's kind of sad. So the figure itself, most likely a repack of an older figure. Okay, so a lot of people. Whoa, sorry, Boba Fett. A lot of people already probably have this figure. I will say that it's weird that it has a kind of an odd shaped elbow where you can't really do much with it. It kind of bends it this way, so I'm not quite sure why that is, but might be looks like he's speaking in, like might have it look like he's talking into a communicator or something. And of course he's got his backpack in the back. I don't think it launches or there's anything to that. So all in all, you know, a good figure. You know, a nice figure. It does stand on its own. I have my mic in my way now these days. I'm trying to improve, you know, a little bit at a time. I'm trying to improve the quality of the program. You know, again, I'm not really doing this to, you know, for any kind of support. I know it's a small niche podcast, so I don't expect to get millions of viewers. But I am trying to, you know, a little at a time, try to improve. I put a little bit with the lighting, I put a little bit with sound. So bear with me. Let me know what you think. If you have any suggestions, I will gladly, if there's little expense, I'll gladly take it on. So there's Boba Fett. There's the glass. Got a really cool imagery from Jabba's skiff and sail barge. Okay. And again, I can't remember off the top of my head if these are direct copies of the glasses from the 70s and 80s, or if they're just kind of in the style of. I think they made far more of these plastic kind of replica or reproduction, you know, paying homage than they actually sold glasses in the original days. So I think they definitely are just in the style of. So there you go, we've got that. Why don't we start now with this one? And again, I know what it is, I know the figure it is, but I'm not going to say because that's why it's an unboxing show. Let's do an unboxing and find out together. I will say this, I am someone who I try to mix up how I purchase Star Wars toys in, you know, kind of the massed way I can do it. Meaning, I try to order stuff online. I try to order stuff through big box retailers and smaller shops. I try to go to comic book stores. I try to go to vendors at toy shows or Comic-Cons, that kind of thing. I try to mix it up so I can support as many different types of businesses and vendors as it is. Yes, I know, I realize in some cases, some of these vendors can be a little bit scrupulous or whatever, you know, where they're not, or devious, where they're actually going into stores and, you know, working out a deal with the manager in the back and getting a ton of new product before it even gets to the shelves, allowing anybody, like just normal customers, an opportunity to just buy it, and then they end up inflating the cost. And that's been going on for 20 years, and I get that. For the most part, when I pay for a figure, I am not interested anymore in having that figure in my collection right away. Because I just know that if I want that, I'm going to pay twice, even 3 times the price of what the figure is. But I find that because there's so much Star Wars product out there, you can wait, you can kind of hang out and see where the things go, and more often than not, you'll be able to find items for less money. You can also find items loose. You almost always are going to pay an original price, if not less. Okay, now there are of course exceptions, like really, really, fine exclusive items will be different. And if you're watching this from another country, I can't speak for that. I don't know. I'm only speaking for the United States. I can't speak for what things might be like in Portugal or in France or anything else. I mean, other countries might have a harder time getting stuff. So for this country, I find that for the most part, I can stick to, I can patronize, all the different types of vendors, from big box retailers to mom and pop stores to vendors online to Comic-Con vendors to everything, and comic book stores, and a little bit of everything. So I find that seems to be fair. So the figure that we have here, wow, this is a very, very, very small pack. This is Admiral Piet, okay, from The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. One of my favorite Imperial officer characters, because if you think about it, there was only one Imperial officer, other than Darth Vader, who survived not one movie but 2 movies, and that was Admiral Piet. Okay, there was no other character, if I'm not mistaken. None of the other characters. Episode 4, you have Grand Moff Tarkin killed off, right? You have all of his Imperial officers. They just did. Maybe they were killed off, maybe they weren't. But in any case, they did not find a place in the next movie, right? Then he gets Empire Strikes Back, and you got Admiral Ozzel. Well, he's clumsy as he is stupid. He's choked. You got General Veers, who could have survived, because I do believe he was in the AT-AT that blew up the shield generator, and as a result, I don't think he. And there might have been a deleted scene where he met his maker, but I don't believe he did in the film itself. And then a couple other ones here and there. Captain Nita, apology accepted. So a lot of them were just fodder for Vader to just do the Force choke, but not this one. I thought this was interesting, and the way they ended Empire Strikes Back, when they deactivated the hyperdrive and the Falcon, but then R2 figured it out and boom. That was a pretty gutsy move on Vader to not kill Admiral Piet. I thought that Admiral's look on his face when his lost all the color in his face, he knew he was toast. So they could have just let that be, and if he wasn't in the next movie, Return of the Jedi, you would have figured, well, that was it. He met his little Force choke, and that was it. But they brought him back. He was the only one to survive. I'm so excited about that. Of course, he died at the end. He died a spectacular death by having an A-wing fly into the Super Star Destroyer. So that was pretty epic. But it was neat to see this character. I mean, he wasn't really a fleshed out character. He was just kind of a minion of Vader. But I enjoyed seeing him in 2 movies. A rarity for Star Wars films. Okay, so unless you're one of the main characters, or Wedge. So he was like the evil version of Wedge. All right, so this I believe was an exclusive, but don't ask me which exclusive it was. But I know that I had to find this guy online. Okay, I will say, I like that they gave him a weapon, but when you think about it, he never ever holstered a weapon at all, or shouldered or handled a weapon, and they don't even give you a holster to put him in, so that's a little weird. Sometimes if it's an exclusive figure, they're going to use other characters' bodies or other sculpts and just kind of do the face. I don't know if this is the realistic face or not. I think it might be, but he might have a little more hair than he did in the actual movie itself. But so he has to hold his gun, which is a little bit weird. Okay, and put him up. See if we can get him here so you can see. Stands nicely. Very good. I am going to, I'll get some close-up shots of everything, but I will also have another video following this one where I have a new Black Series display shelf that I built myself that I'm going to kind of show off at my next shelf talk. So there's Admiral. I'll put him over here next to Boba. Okay. And lastly, we have our final Hallmark ornament. Okay. Now, when I say final, there have been a lot of Hallmark ornaments. There's a lot of places you can find ornaments other than in Hallmark. Hallmark has 2 areas. They have their Hallmark store brand, which are the high-end collectible ornaments, and then they have their more mass-produced well, actually, they're all mass-produced, but like even more mass-produced, and therefore a lot less expensive Hallmark ornaments that you can get at big box stores like Hallmark, like they don't sell them at Hallmark. They sell them at Walmart. They sell them at, you know, sometimes in big box places like Target, Kohl's, okay, like places like that. And they're a little smaller, but they run the gambit between all types of IPs: Star Wars, Disney, Marvel, the whole works. Okay, so those are great too. But this one, no, this is one of the more. This is the final storyteller ornament. Okay, this is it's a Millennium Falcon, and I did have a Falcon on in the last episode, but that was the Soul of a Star Wars Story, newer, you know, sparkly clean, brand new looking Falcon, and it lit up, and that was its major thing. This one is one of the storyteller ornaments. This is the one that you plug in, and there were 3 last year. I believe it was Luke's X-Wing, Darth Vader TIE Fighter, and the Death Star. And you kind of link them together, and then you pressed one, and it kind of cycled through. One would light up, then the other one would light up, and this one you'd hear dialogue, and it went on for like 5 minutes. It was a huge. It was like you're hearing the whole story of the trench run kind of thing. Now they've added 2 more. They have a TIE Fighter, which I showed last episode, and the Millennium Falcon. And I do believe they're going to have 2 more next year, so there'll be 7 altogether. Okay, and they warned that they were going to release them one at a time. And again, like the ornament, the TIE Fighter before. This is kind of taking a page out of the Force Link technology in that it does not have any batteries. It is instead have a special place you plug in to an electronic ornament connector, okay? And it's separate from like a light socket or anything like that. It is just a separate cord that you do have to purchase at Hallmark. I guess you can order it online, but you do have to purchase. I think you may have to purchase more than one because I think one strand only has 3 ornaments you can plug in. And then this is another one, and you know, they've done a few Falcons over the years. Okay, in fact, I think the very first one I mentioned last episode, I think the very first Hallmark Star Wars related ornament was a Falcon. This one's a little bit bigger, and it does have some light up feature, and it does have some other stuff. I will demonstrate that at some point. It may not be part of the general show, but maybe I'll tag on a little video at the end so you can see how they all connect, because I'll put it up on a tree. We have actually 3 trees coming up in Darth Tuba household this year. We have a regular tree, meaning like all non-Star Wars ornaments. Then we have another tree that's all Star Wars ornaments, and then we have a 3rd tree that we're going to actually be doing in the studio. We're going to have a Star Wars tree trimming party that we're going to be setting up and doing. We're going to be doing it live on. I'm going to try to do it live on YouTube and on Facebook if I can get them to both work. And we're going to set that up probably the week after Thanksgiving, sometime one evening during the week that week. All right, so Millennium Falcon, really cool. Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties there for a minute. The camera shut down. But anyway, Millennium Falcon, really cool, as I said. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out all my videos on Facebook. Check out all my videos on YouTube. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification buttons. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, at Darth Tuba, and Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing page on Facebook. And email me or leave comments if you have any questions. My email is darthtuba77@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, may the Force be with you.